a small, dusty village surrounded by thick green forests and endless banana plantations, there lived a quiet girl named Amina. She was only 12 years old, but her life already felt heavier than that of many grown women. Ever since her mother died, Amina had lived with her father and stepmother, Mama Janet. But after her father traveled far away for work and never returned, the stepmother became cruel. Every morning before sunrise, while other children still slept warmly under blankets, Amina would already be awake. She swept the compound, fetched water from the distant well with a heavy yellow jerrycan balanced painfully on her small head, collected firewood deep in the forest, cooked, washed clothes, cleaned dishes, fed the chickens, and only after every chore was done would Mama Janet throw her leftovers to eat. Sometimes cold cassava, sometimes burnt beans, sometimes nothing at all. Yet despite all the suffering, Amina remained kind-hearted. One cloudy evening, Amina walked alone to the well carrying an empty jerrycan. The path was quiet, except for birds chirping in the trees and the sound of dry leaves beneath her feet. As she approached the well, a cold wind suddenly blew through the forest. The trees began to sway. Amina stopped walking. Then she heard a soft, familiar voice. Amina. Her heart nearly stopped. Standing near the well was a glowing woman dressed in white cloth. It was her mother, not alive, but not fully gone. Amina's eyes filled with tears. "Mama," the spirit smiled gently. "Do not be afraid, my child." Amina ran toward her, trembling. "Mama, I miss you so much." The ghost touched her cheek softly. "I know. I have been watching over you." Then the spirit removed a small beaded bracelet from her wrist. "Take this bracelet. It will protect you." Amina looked confused. "But Mama, this is just an ordinary bracelet." The spirit smiled. "No, my daughter. It is powerful. Whatever you truly wish for while holding it shall come to pass." Looking around nervously, she whispered, "Let me test this bracelet." She held it tightly, closed her eyes. "I wish for warm food." Then suddenly, poof! A steaming basket of chapati, roasted meat, sweet bananas, and fresh juice appeared beneath the tree beside her. Amina screamed and jumped back. Then slowly, she smiled. Tears filled her eyes. It's true. She ate until her stomach was full for the first time in many months. Afterward, she carried the water home. Mama Janet stood angrily in the compound waiting. "Why are you late?" Amina lowered her head. "There were many people at the well," Mama Janet hissed. "Useless girl, go collect firewood immediately." Usually, Amina would spend hours in the forest searching for dry wood. But this time, she walked deep into the garden, sat beneath a large mango tree, and held the bracelet again. "I wish for a big bundle of firewood." Whoosh! A mountain of perfectly chopped dry firewood appeared beside her. Amina gasped. She quickly tied the wood together and rushed home. Mama Janet's eyes widened. "How did you get all that so quickly?" I found it already cut." The woman narrowed her eyes suspiciously. Something was wrong. Very wrong. Days passed, then weeks. Mama Janet noticed something strange. No matter how little food she gave Amina, the girl never complained of hunger anymore. She even looked healthier, stronger, happier. One night, Mama Janet whispered to herself, "This girl is hiding something from me." The next morning, she secretly followed Amina into the forest. Amina reached her favorite tree and smiled. She held the bracelet. "I wish for fresh mangoes and milk." Immediately, baskets of fruit appeared. Mama Janet nearly screamed. Her eyes burned with greed. "A magic bracelet!" She hid behind the bushes, watching carefully. That night, while Amina slept, Mama Janet quietly entered her room. Slowly, She removed the bracelet from the girl's wrist and smiled wickedly. The next morning, Mama Janet locked herself inside her bedroom. Excitedly, she grabbed the bracelet. "I wish for money, gold, riches." The room suddenly shook violently. Coins poured from the ceiling. Gold necklaces appeared everywhere. Mama Janet laughed wildly. "I am rich." But then, the coins kept falling. Faster, harder. The room filled higher and higher with gold. Mama Janet tried opening the door. It would not move. The gold swallowed her legs, then her waist. She screamed in terror, "Help! Help me!" Outside, Amina heard the cries. She rushed to the room. Inside, the gold had become dark and burning hot like fire. Mama Janet cried desperately, "Save me!" Amina remembered her mother's warning. Greed destroys. Even after all the cruelty, Amina still had compassion. She grabbed the bracelet from the floor and shouted, "I wish for all this to disappear." Instantly, whoosh! Everything vanished. The gold, the fire, the curse. Mama Janet collapsed to the floor, shaking with fear. Then suddenly, horse hoof sounds. Doom, doom, doom. Amina stepped outside. A tall man dressed in royal armor sat upon a black horse. Behind him were two palace guards carrying spears. The villagers nearby began whispering nervously. "A royal messenger." The man climbed down slowly, his eyes immediately fixed on the bracelet. Shock crossed his face. He stepped closer carefully. "Where did you get that necklace?" Amina looked confused. "It was given to me by my mother." The man's expression changed. "That does not belong to ordinary people. It is called the Bracelet of Nambiri. It only chooses those with pure hearts. From today onward, she belongs to the palace." At sunrise the next morning, Amina climbed onto a horse beside the messenger. It was the first time in her life leaving the village. As they traveled across forests, rivers, and mountains, Amina stared in wonder at the world beyond her home, but hidden far behind them. Mama Janet followed secretly. Greed still burned inside her heart. She believed the palace would reward Amina with gold, power, and riches. And she wanted it all. Late that evening, the travelers stopped near a river to rest. Bandits emerged from the forest carrying machetes. "Hand over the girl!" The guards drew their swords. Chaos erupted. Amina panicked. The bracelet suddenly began glowing brightly. Wind exploded through the trees. The river rose violently. Massive waves crashed toward the attackers. The bandits screamed and fled in terror. Silence returned. The messenger stared at Amina in shock. After several days, they finally arrived at the royal palace. It stood upon a hill surrounded by waterfalls, giant stone walls, and golden towers shining beneath the sun. Amina had never seen anything so beautiful. Villagers bowed as the messenger passed. Inside the palace throne room sat the Queen Mother herself. The moment Amina entered, the Queen suddenly stood up. Her breathing stopped. She gently touched a birthmark on Amina's shoulder, a crescent moon. The Queen began crying. "My daughter!" Amina stepped back in confusion. "What?" The Queen collapsed to her knees. "You are Princess Nadia." The entire palace gasped. Years ago, the Queen explained, enemies attacked the palace during the night. The king was killed. The palace burned. And during the chaos, the infant princess disappeared. Everyone believed she had died. But one loyal servant escaped with the baby. That servant was Amina's late mother. The room went silent. Amina's eyes filled with tears. "My mother saved me." The Queen nodded. "She gave up her own life to protect yours." Then the royal messenger added, "The bracelet was created by ancient royal ancestors. It always returns to the rightful heir." Everything suddenly made sense. The visions, the magic, the ghost at the well. Her mother had waited until the right time, but before happiness could settle. The palace doors burst open. Mama Janet stormed inside with armed bandits. "That girl is a fraud!" Guards drew swords instantly. Mama Janet pointed angrily at Amina. "I raised her. She belongs to me." Amina backed away in fear. Then suddenly, the bracelet floated off her wrist. It rose into the air, glowing brighter than ever before. A deep, ancient voice echoed through the palace. "The heart of the kingdom has returned." The palace floor trembled violently. Hidden doors opened in the walls. Ancient warrior statues came alive. Stone soldiers marched forward with glowing eyes. The bandits screamed. Mama Janet fell to her knees, terrified. Within moments, every attacker was captured. Silence returned once again. That night, the Queen revealed one final truth. "There is something else you must know." She opened an ancient wooden box. Inside was another bracelet, but this one was black and silver, cold, dark. "Long ago," the Queen whispered, "the bracelet was split into two, one for light and one for darkness." Amina stared at the second bracelet nervously. "Where is the other chosen one?" The Queen's face darkened. "We do not know." Then suddenly, far away in a dark forest, a mysterious figure opened glowing eyes, and on their wrist, a black bracelet began to shine.